It's the Market-Driven Youth Resilience Project.
MDYRP.
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 It's a mouthful, to be honest.
Essentially, it's like interview, document stories, experiences.
It's a livelihood intervention project funded by the European Union and the German government and implemented by the American University of Nigeria and the GIZ.
We're shooting a documentary. You need to see it.
We're going to do this.
Let's go.
Let's measure this.
It's going to be amazing.
In this video, we're going to be taking a look at how you put together an entire communications plan for a rapidly implemented development project. With no further ado, let's get to it.
The idea is to train and equip 1,800 young Nigerians in the Northeast, equipping them with business entrepreneurial skills and funding to start and or expand their businesses.
I think it is an innovative project.
And the work they do is amazing.
Saw a problem and it's solving the problem.
I am the communications expert for the project. I decide how we tell the story of the MDYRP.
My role in the MDYRP was to handle the newsletter, creating social media content,
editor, drone pilot, and cinematographer.
And I'm the AD, assistant director for MDYRP, a documentary.
Our job as the communications team was to effectively tell the story of the Market-Driven Resilience Project. To get us started, we were served with a 33-page long proposal document that sort of outlined the entire project and served as our working document. Early on, it was mostly meetings after meetings and more meetings. We worked off an activity tracker just for a bit of housekeeping where I outlined the weekly tasks and deliverables and the team members responsible for each deliverable. Once or twice a week, I attended 3 classes: transmedia storytelling, public diplomacy, and social innovation. I swear to God, it felt like I never left. Now, the project itself has a theory and a design thinking map kind of that says exactly what he intends to achieve and how he intends to do that. Now, if you know anything about storytelling, you know that with a theory, you pretty much have it all. So we sort of doubled down on that, and eventually a plot line emerged. We then went ahead to create a style guide for the project. Nothing major, just a little set of design principles that influenced all our designs and made sure that we were consistent. Shout out to Ugo and Sani for taking on this one for the team. Challenges. Time. Because it's a rapidly implemented project, we had so many moving parts and so little time to capture each and every little story.
To be honest, just managing this at my school life was difficult.
Especially as I had exams like literally 3 weeks later.
Actually, now I have to go read for an exam that you're going to do, and yeah, it was kind of difficult during that time.
At some point, I was like, yo, Emmanuel, seems like you've punched way above your weight here. There was so much to do, so little time.
Greatest challenge I've learned working on this project is the late night hours working post-production.
I found myself getting burnt out most of the time because the work I had was very intensive.
Like, they're always on it. So like, you as the person covering them, you actually have to be up before them. Like, you have to set up your camera before them. It's a rush.
It's really fascinating because I got to work with different individuals.
It's one thing to experience the project, it's another thing to read and know how this has actually impacted the lives of the people who have experienced this project. I did learn a lot about creating social media content. I also learned how to work with people on the team.
I've learned to have to keep to time because once they start, they're just like, let's go.
But like every other project, it has its ups and downs, and most of us were just on autopilot. Another challenge we had was budget cuts. Like every other project, if you are a creative, you know that client budget expectation tussle that you usually have. We had that, yeah, and we were forced to innovation. Which brings me to one of my favorite parts of this project, making this baby. We couldn't afford to purchase proper Kino flows or proper key lights, and we needed a humongous source of light for what we were trying to do. So, we decided to build. We found a local electrical store that had everything we needed. Our very own Home Depot, guys. We purchased these nice LED tube lights, stacked them against each other in a 4x4 and a 4x8. We needed a board that could hold it, so we got a plywood, split it in a 4x4 and a 4x8 respectively. Got 50, a local electrician, to help wire the baby up, and it took us a couple of hours, but before you knew it, we had proper kilo flows. Then we decided to line it up with foil paper to sort of max out on the intensity. So far, so good. Got Usman, a local carpenter, to build proper carry-on cases. I've really never had anything that has worked so beautifully for me in my life like this has before. So, I don't know, I'm quite excited. This might just be the MVP to something great. Audio-wise, we fell back on the Zoom H6. Powerful, beautiful, amazing piece of gear for audio. It solved all our problems.
Camera-wise, we shot mostly with the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and a Canon as well, and so you might notice the disparities in the color science.
I really want to give a big shout out to my internal comms team. This review video is for us, essentially. Debbie, Ekene, Miracle, Yankee, Sunny, Vanessa. Now, these are, mind you, students who had quite a lot on their plate. They had exams, they had school activities, they had, some people had graduation.
How did I get involved in the MDYRP project?
Oh, it's kind of a funny story.
A situation that happened quite some time ago.
I met one of my friends at my school cafeteria one afternoon, and I found the head of the international comms team,
Manuel Wogo. He gave me a call,
and I introduced myself and asked if I could volunteer in the project. So he said yes.
It started off as pretty much a joke from a class, and here we are, 3 months in, still doing amazing work, still covering the amazing work that GIZ are doing here.
I also want to give a big shout out to, the American University of Nigeria, AUN, of course, for the tremendous amount of support rendered to myself and my team, for the entire duration of this project. I kid you not, guys. People were just showing us love left, right, and center. It was a community project. And in fact, most of my team were made up of primarily AUN students and alumni.
As a young person, it's just inspiring to see the facilitators being, roughly as young as I am as well, as young as even students in AUN. It's nice to see, young people just leading the charge, like inspiring people and all of that.
It was just hopeful. It was a hopeful experience.
I feel like it will take years for the work development workers do in this part of the country to truly reflect and be appreciated, upon.
When you think about the origins of this, project, it's from Germany, right? So I'm just thinking, how is somebody so far away thinking about, people this far away?
You have to hand it to them.
So I interviewed some beneficiaries. I also handled the focus group discussion. I interviewed the president, the people who handled the finances. I interviewed students. I interviewed Verse, our projects manager. I interviewed a bunch of people. As a member of the intercom, I had such a good time.
Personally and professionally.
It's been It's been amazing working on the
I
project.
had the time of my life.
This is my first time working in a development space.
It's really by time blocking.
Work late hours and all.
It's a lot of
Participant observations.
experiences shared.
We became a family, basically.
It was a lucky coincidence. Here I am. I'm just happy to be here.
If I get the chance to participate in another project like this, I will definitely jump on the chance. Ekene, he's distracted.
Emmanuel is creative.
Yankees is a workhorse.
Deborah, she's hardworking.
I'd say Deborah is efficient.
Debbie's industrious. Like, she just the work. Like, she just the work always. That's just Debbie.
Ekene is a bowl of creative goodies.
Emma. Emma na cement. Yes, I said it.
Emiyaku is weird.
Mirak shows up to meetings way too early.
She has her own style game and she sticks to it.
Sani is artistic.
Deborah is always on her phone.
Yeah, kisses for that Christmas.
Wow. I learned to take one for the team, you know.
Ooh.
My man.
If call time is 9 o'clock, Yankees is there at 8:45 all the time. It's an understanding. This is a good place to mention that Yankees is also one of the best drone pilots in Northeast Nigeria as of today. You know, and so if you see a lot of all those really nice creamy pictures, just know that the captain is in the sky. We made a lot of mistakes, but we also made sure to do a project assessment at the end, you know, towards the end, to know like the things that we did right, the things we did wrong, the things we could, you know, do better next time. I also wrote a lot of reports, of course. We knew that we had our basics covered. We had produced an outstanding documentary, and we got to design an innovation hub from scratch. How cool is that?
Goddamn, it's about time. I was thinking about the bones in the closet. I'm pacing, I'm facing the past. I made it. I wanna make plans, I laid it. Back to sleep. It's a long walk, so I took a leap. When I start pulling up, you don't see my seam. I'm never in sight when the
I also had a number of remarkable women I worked with on this project who just sort of made my life easier. You know, starting with Vanessa. Vanessa, if you're watching this, you know now, me and you, I really can't thank you enough. I'll buy you oranges, I'll do your nails, I will, you know, but I really appreciate it. Vanessa was quality control on this. She made sure that every marketing material that went out was top notch. Next up is, if there's one thing I can say about Inena is that she gets shit done. Period. Inena was my go-to person. She was my liaison officer and effectively took care of everything in logistics. Don't let her pretty face fool you. She's rugged. Inena was with me on almost every single shoot, you know, that we did. I can't remember something we were shooting that Inena was just not there. You know, just guiding and saying, do this, don't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, let's do it right, let's fuck it up, you know, and so on and so forth. She was just a lot of ginger and I really appreciate it. Next up is Mary was just a vibe on set. You know, she had a sixth sense for the camera. I kid you not. You can never catch her offside. Sometimes I feel like she's in the wrong line of business. You know, like one of those people that should be in front of the cameras instead of doing development work. You know, but of course, like I learn a lot from her every day. The only thing she loves better than work is tea. I guarantee you. Ufa for the boys. Ufa came true. Ufa taught boys. I kid you not. Like, this is Ufa teaching us how to use her gimbal.
Step 1. Step 2.
And guess what? Even after all these lectures, none of us could still figure out how to use the Ronin S gimbal. You're such an embarrassment. And honestly, I don't blame us. I feel like the people who designed that gimbal were designing it for people who work in NASA, not ordinary consumers like us now. So from here onwards, it's just thanks, vote of thanks. So thank you so much, Ada. Ada did most of our makeup. Ada was our makeup artist and our set designer. She primarily put our sets together. She's responsible for putting up all these curtains that you're seeing here. Ada, God bless you. If you ever need somebody to break protocols for you, is these two. Dr. Jacob left an entire international conference just to make sure, he was present for the focus group discussion shoot. I asked Dr. Rollins and all he said to me was when and where. Dr. Sadiq Baliwa, if you're watching, Prof, thank you for sticking your neck out for me several times. I really appreciate it. Our own story is separate. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I know we're going to do this a lot more, and I'm looking forward to it. To the CMD team, Wadi, Mr. Uchi, Mr. Lawrence, thank you so much. Like I said before, it was like I never left. Shout out to my mom who gave us her school uniforms to use as backdrops or diffusers. I'm throwing special thanks to Mr. Pius and Mr. Byron as well, who helped me with the concept all the way from Lagos. It was Byron's idea to cover the entire place with black, so that we can have that really nice contrast, between our subject and the background while shooting the documentary. So, sir, please, if you're watching, accept my thanks. Now, for those who are wondering, actually, we did try to get a top-down view of, the subject, but it was quite tricky trying to, rig the mic to the camera at the same place. And because we didn't have a lot of time, we abandoned the idea. It would have made a fantastic shot. I also have to give a big shout out to the project director, Versi Shom. Versi, if you're watching, I just want to say a big thank you for your incredible understanding and patience. Versi was very patient. Versi is a creative at heart, period. He gave me complete creative freedom. He just said, yo, Emmanuel, do your thing. And you have to appreciate the level of trust that it takes, to do that. So I'm really, really appreciating. And lastly, I want to give a huge shout out to the beneficiaries. It is because of you guys that we are all here. I met quite a number of amazing people. I saw people who will just blow your mind away from, their confidence to, the skills and ideas that they have. So, I'm really throwing it out to you guys once again. They say opportunity only comes but once. I don't really like that statement. I like to believe my opportunities are a lot, but I hope that you guys utilize and maximize, the resources and training you've gotten recently to do really amazing things. I know you guys will, and I wish you guys all the best. Unfortunately, I can't mention everybody who has helped me out on this project because there's just so many people. Shout out to people who called in from time to time, just to see how things were going and offer, a word or two for ginger, thank you.
We shall see in the next episode.
And remember, pressure and excellence always.